We have some what I would consider potentially good news coming in the Ukraine-Russia situation. Now, in this particular case, what we consider good news really depends on one's perspective in the entire conflict. And as many of you know, at odds with what some people believe, both people in my audience and other people who comment on what's going on around the world, I do not see Ukraine as the aggressor. I do not see the responsibility of solving the conflict to be Joe Biden's. I don't see the possibility of Ukraine joining NATO as a legitimate, quote, aggression on the basis of which Vladimir Putin could mass troops at the border, threaten aggression, and if it came to it, actually execute aggression into Ukraine. That's not my perspective. I see that the aggressor massing the troops is the aggressor. And to me, that's calling things what they are. Now, I know many of you have emailed me and you said, well, no, promises were made that NATO wouldn't expand and it would. No, that is a false notion. And we went through that yesterday. In the context of calling things what they are, there are now some statements being made by Russian authorities, which, if true, signal that this is not going to lead to an invasion of Ukraine, which I consider a good thing. CNN reporting. Russia announced that some of its troops would return to base after completing recent drills, but stressed that major military exercises would continue. Ukraine has responded understandably skeptically, saying, we'll believe it when we see it. Following the announcement, the U.S. ambassador to NATO said the U.S. will have to verify claims of a potential move towards de-escalation by Russia. Meanwhile, last-ditch Western diplomatic efforts continue, with German Chancellor Olaf Scholz in Moscow to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin. Late Monday, the Kremlin told CNN Putin is willing to negotiate, saying the Ukraine crisis was only one part of Russia's larger security concerns. Now, it can't be ignored that part of the security concerns being claimed by Russia strike me as very insincere, because when you consider the broad claim that NATO involvement in Ukraine is a direct threat to Russia and signals further this, that, or the other thing. The truth is that there have been other countries in the area, including Latvia, where there has been no such escalation. There has been a presence, a Western presence, and there has been no such escalation. And so it's sort of an alleged slippery slope without really a reason to believe that that's going to happen. But listen, I mean, if Putin is genuine, that he's willing to negotiate and back down, I think it's a good thing. And of course, the question with Putin always is this 4D chess? With Trump, we would say, well, when he drew using a Sharpie on the hurricane map, or when he had that insane call with Ukraine, or when he was flushing documents down the toilet, there was this idea it's 4D chess with Trump. He's got something planned and very carefully crafted. No, he didn't. He was a buffoon. There was no 4D chess being played. Things were what they appeared to be. Putin is much smarter than Trump. It's just the reality. And so with Putin, there is the consideration as to, is this 4D chess? And from the beginning, there was the question of, is Putin's real intention to invade or not? And if not, what is the underlying intention here? The Associated Press also reporting Russia ready to discuss confidence-building measures. And that article reads, Russian President Putin said Tuesday Moscow is ready for talks with the U.S. and NATO on limits for missile deployments and military transparency in a new sign of easing East-West tensions. The statement came after Russia announced it is pulling back some troops from exercises that raised fears of a potential invasion of Ukraine. The other thing I have a problem with in this entire context are, if you've been watching my show for some time, you are, I'm sure, aware that when someone like me says, hey, this thing Russia's doing isn't good. Hey, this thing China's doing isn't good. This thing Venezuela's doing isn't good. There is a contingent of the left that hears that and says, David, you imperialist bastard, looking to send troops. I don't know why I do the Alex Jones voice, but saying you want the U.S. troops involved everywhere, and you want Biden to send it. No, I don't. No, I don't. That's not at all what I want. And in fact, there's really no incentive. As many of you know, I want stability. I want calm, even if it's out of selfish desires for a steady economy, a calm and tranquil stock market. Part of the insanity with 3 consecutive big days of market declines, et cetera, part of it has been the threat of escalation in Ukraine, Russia. Why would I want that? I don't. So not only is it not, and I'm speaking now not just about myself, but others on the left who point out, hey, we can agree that Putin is the one threatening aggression here, while still not wanting this to escalate and not wanting American troops involved. And we can walk and chew gum at the same time. And immediately, as of right now, this might change, but the stock market is reacting very favorably to what seem to be decreased tensions in the region. So there is no political reason that I would want American imperialism and sending troops or an escalation. I don't want it. And even if you ignore the fact that it doesn't align with my politics, which have been defaulting to non-intervention in most cases for the United States, both politically and militarily, and that applies to Cuba, Venezuela, Russia, etc., an unfettered record of such positions. Just out of selfish economic concerns, I would also not be incentivized to want those things. So that is my perspective on this. And those who continue to try to attribute some kind of bloodthirsty, hegemonic imperialism to me, it's just not based in anything I've ever said. I think that's the important thing. Let's see what happens in the next 24 hours. It is a brand new year. Maybe you have goals around getting in better shape, maybe cutting back on sugar. That's why you should check out our longtime sponsor, Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon tastes exactly like the delicious sweet breakfast cereals you loved as a kid, but Magic Spoon has 0 grams of sugar, 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net carbs. So it's perfect if you're doing low carb or keto, or if, like me, you just try to limit your sugar intake. You can build your own variety pack with flavors like cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, cinnamon, cookies and cream, waffle maple, blueberry. That's my favorite. Magic Spoon lets you enjoy a sweet, delicious snack without the guilt. You can stick to your goals and still treat yourself. And if you don't love Magic Spoon as much as I do, they'll give you all of your money back, no questions asked. Magic Spoon is giving my audience $5 off when you go to magicspoon.com/Pacman and use the promo code Pacman